Welcome to a new deep dive, really focused on giving your English listening skills a serious boost. You know that feeling, right?
Hmm.
Listening to English and, well, some parts just don't quite land.
Oh, absolutely. It's super common, and that's exactly what we're digging into today. We've been checking out episode 9 of the Duo Dialogues.
Right.
It's a brilliant resource, specifically aimed at English learners, kind of in that late beginner, early intermediate zone, A2 to B1 level, helps them really get a handle on listening.
Definitely. Ria and Jay, the hosts there, they spend the whole episode breaking down why listening is so key, what makes it tricky sometimes,
Yeah.
and crucially, they share actual strategies and exercises you can use. So our job today is basically to grab the most valuable stuff from their work, give you the highlights, like a shortcut to better listening.
Okay, so let's start with the main idea Ria and Jay really hammer home. Listening isn't just, hearing stuff. It's the actual foundation for speaking English well.
Okay, yeah, foundation. Let's unpack that a bit. They argue pretty strongly that how well you speak is directly linked to how well you listen. Makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Like if you don't understand what someone's saying.
How can you possibly reply properly? Or even just follow the conversation.
Exactly.
It's like trying to have a back and forth when you only catch half the word.
Precisely. And
Yeah.
the payoffs go way beyond just that immediate chat. Ria and Jay point out that getting better at listening actually helps your English overall. Like think about vocabulary.
Oh, yeah.
You just naturally pick up new words,
Mm.
hearing them used, right? And your ear starts tuning into the rhythm, the sounds,
Yeah.
which then helps your own pronunciation. It's
Okay.
all connected, leads to more fluency, more
So
confidence.
your brain is soaking it all up in the background just by listening actively. But let's be real, listening in another language can feel, well, tough. What are the main struggles Ria and Jay talk about?
They hit on some really common pain points. Number one, and I think almost everyone feels this, is just the speed. Native speakers often talk really fast.
Oh, tell me about it. It can feel like this, wall of sound coming at you, with hardly any space to breathe or process.
Seriously, like someone hit the fast forward button,
Yeah.
and then there's all the slang and the way people shorten words in normal conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can honestly feel like a different language sometimes than what you learn in books.
Totally. And another thing is how words just blend together when people speak naturally. You see want to written down, but you hear wanna.
Right, those connections, what look like separate words on the page just sort of merges into one sound.
Exactly. It makes it harder to pick out the individual words you might actually know.
Okay, but here's the good part. Ria and Jay don't just list the problems. They're actually really encouraging, aren't they? They make it clear these are hurdles you can get over.
Absolutely. That's a key message. It's not about having some magic language gift. It's about using the right techniques and, importantly, practicing them. Which brings us to a really neat part of their episode where they show this in action.
Yes, the conversation example. I found this super helpful. They play it slow, then at normal speed. Let's quickly recall that slow version. Ria says, "Hello, can I help you?" Jay, "Yes, I'm looking for a red shirt." Ria, "What size do you wear?" Jay, "Medium." Pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. And then straight after, the normal speed, Ria. Hello, can I help you, Jay? Yeah, I'm looking for a red shirt. Ria, what size do you wear? Jay, medium.
And boom, you hear the difference instantly. The yes becomes yeah, the pace picks up, the words flow more.
It just sounds more natural, more connected.
Exactly. And Ria and Jay stress how important it is to notice that difference and to, hit replay. Listen again, especially to the normal speed one, to train your ear.
And they also really push repeating the phrases yourself, saying them out loud, both the slow and the normal way. It starts building that muscle memory for the sounds.
Right. Gets your mouth used to it and helps your brain process the rhythm better. Okay, so building on that demo, they then lay out 5 main strategies for better listening. What's the first big one?
The first one is huge, I think, for a lot of learners. Try not to translate every single word into your own language inside your head as you listen.
Oh, the translation trap. I know that one.
Yeah, it slows you right down. And you often miss the main point because you're stuck on one word.
Totally. You're busy trying to figure out word X, and the rest of the sentence just sails past. Like you miss the forest for the trees.
Exactly. So to counter that, their second tip is to train yourself to listen for keywords, the important words that carry the main meaning.
Ah, okay. Focus on the core message, not every single the, a, or is, like picking out the nouns and verbs, maybe.
Pretty much. Grasp the main ideas first. It's much more efficient. What's strategy number 3?
Number 3 is about using subtitles with videos. They say it's a great tool, especially at the start.
Right. Helps connect the sound to the written word.
But crucially, the goal is to eventually turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
Like training wheels, right? You need them at first, but you got to take them off to ride properly.
Perfect analogy. Can't rely on them forever if you want true listening fluency. Okay, number 4 is about repeating what you hear. They call it shadowing.
Shadowing, right. I've heard of that. How does that work exactly?
It's basically repeating the audio almost at the same time as you hear it, trying to copy the speaker's timing, their intonation, the rhythm, everything.
So not just the words, but how they say them, the ups and downs, the pace.
Exactly. It's really good for your own pronunciation and for tuning your ear into the natural flow of English. It's very active.
Makes sense. And the fifth strategy.
The 5th one is simple but vital. Consistency. They really emphasize that even short, regular practice, like 10 minutes a day, is much better than one long session once a week.
Yeah, building that habit, little and often.
Exactly. And Ria adds this great little mantra, a mindset shift. I listen to understand, not to memorize.
Ooh, I like that. Takes the pressure off trying to remember every detail. Just focus on getting the main gist.
Precisely. It's about comprehension, not rote learning.
Okay, super helpful strategies. So after laying those out, Ria and Jay get into some real-world examples, right?
They do. First up, a train station announcement. Just a short clip. The train to Mumbai is now arriving at platform number 2.
Simple. Common situation. And then they ask 2 quick questions to check.
Yep. Which city is the train going to and which platform?
Answers being Mumbai and platform 2, obviously. It seems basic, but it shows how you pull out specific info quickly, which is like a core skill.
Totally. You need to grab those key details.
Okay.
And they do another one, set in a coffee shop. Again, super common scenario.
Right. Barista said, "Hi there. What would you like?" Customer, "I'll have a cappuccino, please." Barista, "Small, medium, or large?" Customer, "Medium."
And the check questions are, what did the customer order? A cappuccino. And what size? Medium.
Again, straightforward, but it drills that skill of understanding requests and choices in everyday situations.
Exactly. It makes the practice very relatable and practical.
So beyond those specific exercises, what other daily practice ideas do Ria and Jay suggest?
Well, they circle back to watching short videos, start with subtitles, then try without. They also recommend listening to English learning podcasts.
Like the duo dialogues, perhaps.
Naturally, they mention their own show. Also, engaging with cartoons or kids' shows because the language is often simpler and clearer.
Good tip. Less complex sentences, clear pronunciation.
Yeah. And using song lyrics is another fun way. Listen, read along, try to understand, and if possible, try having short chats in English every day with a friend, language partner.
That daily interaction must be gold, putting it all into practice in real time.
Absolutely. And they add this really important reminder, don't be afraid to pause, rewind, and listen again and again.
Yes. It's not cheating, it's learning. You don't have to get it first time.
Exactly. Understanding is the goal, not speed.
Okay, now, later on, they talk more about that shadow speaking technique. Can we revisit that?
Sure. So, as we said, it's repeating almost simultaneously. They give examples like, I wake up at 6 a.m., or I take the bus to school, or I like listening to music. Simple sentences to start with.
And the focus is really on mimicking the sound, the rhythm, the intonation, not just getting the words right.
Exactly. Copy the music of the language, not just the notes. It really helps integrate listening and speaking.
Okay, cool. And towards the end, they have a quick quiz, right?
Yeah, a little comprehension check. They play a short clip. Ria says something like, my name is Adam. I work in a bank. I love playing guitar on weekends.
Okay. Short and sweet.
Then 3 quick questions. What's his name? Adam. Where does he work? In a bank. And what's his hobby? Playing guitar.
Just a quick check to see if you got the main facts.
Exactly. Builds confidence if you get them, or shows you what you might have missed. Nice little self-test.
So, wrapping up our look at this episode of the Duo Dialogues, what's the absolute main takeaway Ria and Jay want people to have?
I think the core message is that improving your listening is absolutely fundamental to becoming a more confident, fluent English speaker overall. And remember that mindset. I listen to understand, not to memorize.
Focus on comprehension above all else.
Right. And they really urge listeners and you listening now to actually use the tips and exercises, weave them into your daily routine.
Even those 10 minutes a day can make a real difference over time. Consistency is everything.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave people with is, how could getting better at listening open things up for you? New learning opportunities, better communication. Maybe try exploring different types of English audio, news, other podcasts, conversations. Keep challenging yourself.
That's a great point to ponder. Well, thanks so much for sharing all these insights from the Duo Dialogues. Hopefully, this deep dive gives everyone some practical tools to boost their English listening starting today.